I'm going to pose to you a simple idea, but one that I think is going to change the entire way that you approach love, dating, and relationships. And that is, dating is a skill. It's like anything else in the world. If you practice it, you usually get better at it. And you get better quicker if you have the right ideas about practicing. And yet, despite this, a lot of men in this world are lonely. And even those who are dating, most are not dating the women that they really like, or are not in a relationship with a woman that they truly love. And a lot of men who are in these situations of loneliness and who face rejection, I have personally heard and understand, because I've believed these things before too, that you were dealt a bad hand, right? That you were born not good looking or even ugly, or you're not tall. You know, you're not 6 foot, so because you were born short, that's why you're not getting girls. Or it's because you're overweight. And you can definitely change that, and I'm pretty sure you know that you can change it, but you're not motivated enough to do so. Or maybe you think that women shouldn't care if you're overweight. Or you don't have money. Now you can change that as well, but you may hate the idea that women only love guys with money. If you truly believe that. It's not true, but a lot of men believe that's true. Or it's because they're not popular. They don't have enough Instagram followers or enough friends, or they don't have any social circles. Now, do any of these things affect your ability to date? Well, of course they do. Anyone who says otherwise is probably lying. But the other liar, the more conniving one, is the liar who tells you that these things have complete control over your dating life, because that's not true either. Being good looking, tall, rich, and having status does help you get attraction from women. It can even make up for having some not so good social skills. But even men with these traits of being good looking, rich, etc., they face rejection and they face heartbreak. And they probably aren't as successful with women as you think that they are. Because if you have a bunch of good looking, awesome, high status, rich friends, you're probably learning something from them, or some of it's rubbing off on you, right? So this idea that these men are out there just absolutely killing it, it's sometimes true, but most of the time I think that you're looking in on a movie and you're not seeing the behind the scenes where the reality is actually happening. And the way that I know this is because I've seen it for myself. I've seen good-looking, rich, high-status men, whatever, they check all the boxes, get rejected. I've seen them get toyed around by women, I've seen them get dumped, and I've also seen the opposite happen. I've seen short, poor, and popular men get beautiful, hot girls, and not only get with these girls, but then keep them, and be showered with love and affection and loyalty by these women, while the guys who maybe are getting girls because of whatever box that they check, yeah, they maybe get with her, but she's not loyal, she's not nice, she's maybe not as beautiful as ideally she would be. But then men who don't have those traits are actually getting far more success. And I'm kind of one of those guys that I'm describing. I don't really have any of these advantages. Maybe the only natural one, because some of those things are gained by hard work. I'm moderately good looking. So I'd say that's definitely an advantage, and I recognize it as such. But I'm not rich, and I never have been. Maybe in the future I will be, but I'm not now, and I haven't been. And I was pretty much lower class for most of my life. I'm not tall. I'm only about 5'8", about 172 centimeters for everyone else in the world. I wasn't really popular until I learned the skills to make myself popular. And that didn't happen until college, and something that took a long time to learn. And I learned it the hard way. But I've seen men who don't have any of those advantages of being tall, good-looking, rich, whatever. And I've seen them succeed with women all around the world. I've been in many countries, and I've succeeded myself with many women all over the world, and seen men with the skill of dating that I think is the secret to getting success. Men who are successful with women are skillful men. They're skillful at interpersonal skills. They've learned how to be funny, charming, sexy, and interesting. And more importantly, they know how women work. It's a very specific skill. They've studied women and learned what works and what doesn't work. And I'm not saying they've conducted some lab tests or published peer-reviewed papers in a psychology journal and have a PhD in, getting girls, right? They just studied women by spending time around women. They've developed their own language for studying it in a creatively academic way. When they were getting success, they saw why it was successful. When they failed and some other guy succeeded, they took the time to figure out why that happened. Yeah, of course they were upset, it's normal, but despite their pain, they decided to learn from that. They used bad circumstances and turned them into lessons. And some of those lessons were that they learned that being funny makes up for being short, being interesting makes up for being overweight, being charming makes up for being ugly, being sexy makes up for being poor. And those things aren't just, oh, you're sexy because you're good looking. Sexy is actually a skill. It's something that you can make women feel about you by the way that you act. And most importantly, they know how to communicate with women. They've learned the skill of understanding women's sub-communications and nonverbal cues that makes up for all of those defects. And women aren't some different species. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that men and women are a bit different in the way that we usually communicate. Men do have nonverbal communication and sub-communication, of course, but women usually more heavily rely on these types of communications, and men, as default, aren't as skilled in those types of communications. And so because men communicate like men, most men don't learn how to communicate like women. But men who are good with women, they like women and they love women, and they love women so much that they wanted to understand women. And when you understand women, you eventually learn what women want. And then here's where everything kind of, unifies. If you can understand what women want, you can become what they want. And by becoming what women want, the final conclusion is that women will want you, because you've become what they desire, and they will give you what you desire, right? That's a universal principle. If you put in the required energy, you're going to get the result from that energy back. And that works for everything in the world. Now that seems a bit simple, and maybe for some of you seems kind of out there, but these ideas are pretty simple. And they're always going to be simple. Even when you're amazing with women, they don't get complicated. They only get complicated in the sense that they get difficult because accepting these truths, despite a lifetime of having the wrong idea, when we come upon this new idea that is the truth, it's very difficult to unlearn so many bad habits that we've built up from a lifetime of rejection or pain. And that's the other difficult part. Because of a lifetime of rejection and pain, you might not have the willingness or the faith to believe that anything I'm saying is true. You may not believe it's possible to actually get what you want in this world with love and relationships. You think that it's a deterministic universe, and the people who succeed, succeed, and the people who fail, fail, and that's just the way it is, and you've got to cope with it. If you don't have the faith to at least take that leap and try and start moving in the right direction, then, as much truth as I could spit in a 10-hour video wouldn't help with you. But I'm hoping that I can help at least inspire you a little bit by making a light bulb moment happen. I want an epiphany to come into your mind. I want you to have some sort of a awakening moment, if that's not too dramatic, when you hear me talking about dating being a skill. And I hope that it inspires you, because once you learn that it's controllable, that your life does actually have a course correction option, and that you're the one who can press that button and turn the steering wheel, your life's going to change a lot. Maybe you've been rejected a lot. Maybe you've been cheated on. Maybe you're going through something difficult that has nothing to do with women. So the idea of dating is the last thing on your mind, though the fact that you're watching this video makes me think there's some sort of interest in your mind, right? Even subconsciously, about dating. So if you're here right now, I get it. I've been there. I've been in many, many terrible situations, and I can empathize with your situations. I can promise you. But I've gotten past them. And it's not going to happen tomorrow. And you don't have to become Casanova tomorrow, or even in 5 years, or even in your life. Most men don't really want that. They don't want to be the super player who gets all the girls, right? Most men just want a nice, cute girlfriend who's going to treat them well and be loyal even when the times get tough. And that's great. In fact, it's probably the best path, because becoming a player who gets with, you know, a new girl every week, it sounds great, but it's a lot of work. And it requires a bit of craziness. Most guys who I know who are really good with women, they're a bit off. I can say this from personal experience. What's important is that you figure out what you want. And once you know what you want, then you can start learning the skills to get you to that place, because you'll know that dating is a skill so that you can control it. But no matter what you want, you're gonna have to learn a little bit, and you're gonna have to unlearn a lot. And that's what Girls Chase was created for. This YouTube channel, the website. We wanted to teach men the skills of dating and the correct ideas about dating. So this resource, this YouTube channel, our website, that'll provide you with the ideas and the skills necessary to get better. As for the inspiration, well, I'm hoping that this video achieved that. I hope that you've been motivated by truth. The truth being that dating is something you can get better at with practice and with the right ideas. If you want, and if you're willing to put in the work, and if you think the work is worth it, you can get a beautiful girlfriend or wife and have a happy family. If you truly desire, you can get a new hot girl every week, or multiple new girls a week, if that's what you want. Anything in this world can be yours, if you're willing to put in the work and develop the skills. But you have to want it. And the bigger your dream, the bigger your desire needs to be, and also the better your skills. And it begins with the simple idea that dating is a skill. Up until now, your history has shaped who you are. And what you do now is going to shape who you will become. So if you take control of that now, and you learn the art of seduction, and you practice until you get what you want, then you can get what you want. So learn what women like, what kinds of looks they like, what kind of behaviors they like, what kind of personalities they like. Some women like things that other women don't, but we've found that some common threads can be found in mostly all women. Learn how to communicate, how to speak beautifully, and how to act beautifully. Learn how to think properly about women. Turn thoughts of negativity and resentment into thoughts of appreciation and wonder. Transform lust from something crude and barbaric into something beautiful and controlled. And on this journey, remember that you are the vessel by which all of this is happening. So try to make it the best version that you can make it. You're not pretending to be something you're not, or betraying your virtues. I want you to be kind, I want you to be virtuous, and I want you to stay true to your beliefs, but you're gonna have to change if you want to become better. Because if who you are right now, if you were sufficient, then you would have what you want. But you aren't, so you don't. And that's okay. Be better, and better will find you. Dating is a skill, like anything else in this world, so be skillful. And if you want to be skillful, join me and listen to what I teach. Subscribe to this channel, or check out our website, girlschase.com. I can teach you the ways that I've learned that have brought me success, and then you can find your own success. This is Hector Castillo from girlschase.com, and I wish you all the best in the world, and may you be happy beyond measure, my friend.